produces so many options and publishes so many recipes that are alternative to eating meat. So many more people. I grew up, we didn't have, of course, you know, we didn't have social media. When I grew up, there were no, my generation was introduced to the computer and email, so it's taken quite a few years, you know, many years to be at the level that everything is now. But now, you know, all you have to do is press one vegan thing on Facebook and you have 50 million vegan recipes popping up in your feed. And some of them to me are genius, like, oh, duh. That's all you need to make vegetables taste savory and a million times better than maybe you thought when you were younger and you got used to Reese's peanut butter cups. You know, there are plenty of adults, you know, they try to make people seem immature if they don't know how to eat their vegetables. There are millions of adults still binging on Big Macs, Whoppers, Reese's peanut butter cups, and so much more. And while all those things seem yummy and good, you know, there's a whole other world out there that is better for the body. And the more extremists in the religious realms, in the treat your body correctly realms, they get self-righteous. So those realms want, you know, they roll their eyes. They can't believe how many kids who are 50 years old, you know, are eating Reese's peanut butter cups and blizzards from Dairy Queen, you know. I'm not that self-righteous. I know that people are normal. I also know that the world markets so much that people that want to do something fun or they want to keep their kids busy, let's run out really quick to Dairy Queen because so-and-so is, you know, at 10 o'clock at night when no parks are open. I guess you could go for a drive, but, you know, the pull on people, the marketing pull on people in this modern era is so incredibly strong that there was an argument in a documentary, and it's a food documentary, ages ago, that said, sure, you can be the perfect parent who never feeds your kids, you know, Kix cereal, which is still considered gentleman's agreement-ish over here at the handshake, Sonic Temple. You can be the perfect parent who's better, you know, superior to everybody else. But in the end, kids, mostly they're exposed to 50 million other kids when they go to school. They see people consuming other things. They see commercials that are really cute. They want the toy and the Choco, you know, whatever it is, Count Dracula, you know, Cocoa Puffs. And it's hard to be perfect when your kids see so much going on. Now, you could teach them self-righteousness. We're better than every other kid in the universe. We don't eat this stuff. You know, it's really hard to be that way. It's almost impossible. So there has to be some sort of happy medium, a moderation. Of course, if kids eat really well, they might automatically not love Choco, Count Dracula, Choco Puffs or whatever, because the sugar would be too much. Anyway, just some food for thought there. No pun intended. And on the subject of food, some people do see the marketing industry as being evil and promoting, you know, and in cahoots, if you will, with, you know, soft drinks. They call them soft for a reason, I guess. But they used to, when I grew up, soft drinks would be Coke, Pepsi, you know, 7-Up, Sprite, you know, anything with loads of sugar, and then also caffeine. There are drinks with artificial sweeteners, and they give the same zip feeling, even if they don't taste the same. Like ice plus caffeine is pretty good. It's only 5 calories. It's not non-GMO, but it's good in a pinch. Zevia. These are, you know, alternatives to just having, at least having the feeling of drinking it. Anyway, many people see these items as evil. who are, you know, proponents of healthy eating. There are even people in the raw vegan foodie world, they don't even look at that government produced pyramid of what you're supposed to eat, because they still include foods that are cooked or produced in the wrong way. Mass production, which needs to be done to feed all the mouths that you see out here, especially in big cities. You really get a dose of, you know, just how crazy populations are. Mass population of anything causes impure growth practices, impure production. How do you keep things perfect in vats? You know, all these different people are working in these, on the farms or in these factories, if you will. Some people refuse, they will only buy locally from local farmers markets, and they trust as best as they can, do the little Hail Mary signal or what have you, the cross. Hopefully all these people are clean. There are people who live that way religiously. Dan the Man, Life Regenerator. You can find him on YouTube, is he on Patreon, Facebook? He's been a green juicer for years, buys only from local farmers wherever he's living. He's been around a little bit. I think he's back in Hawaii now. He's mostly West Coast-ish and Hawaii. So he's been in like San Francisco, he's Seattle, Portland maybe. I think it's more Seattle, but maybe Arizona. In general, he doesn't frequent the East Coast. But anyway, just a little interesting morning discussion on foods. Does make a difference in people's lives. It's hard to explain, and taste buds and bodies can get regulated to adapt to bad foods, and they are considered a drug by the purists in the food industry, or, you know, in agriculture. How much sugar do people need to sustain themselves, or caffeine, even sodium? And this puts your pH balance or levels out of whack. So technically you're not in balance. It should be around, what, 7.5, 7 something, your pH, if you were to actually, you know, have it measured, if you will. I don't know how you do that, but but once you start eating correctly, even just having smoothies in the morning, all of a sudden anything with too much sugar, too much salt will quickly remind you that other foods have too much this, that, or the other. So, and your body will react, you know, maybe with puckering of the skin, tightness of the lips because there's too much salt or sugar. Even the addition of vanilla extract, which 99% of the time contains alcohol on its ingredient list, will cause your lips to go into like pucker, like suction dryness. People who are, you know, as close to the raw vegan world as you can get will